Hello, dog lover. My name is Saro. I'm a dog trainer, also coach dog owners. Welcome to another live session, live show, where we answer your questions and we try to help you to become an educated dog lover. In this channel, we focus on training and educating dog lovers to become educated dog lovers using a special,
Become an educated dog
sorry,
lover. This channel.
special, unique method of um, um, training dogs without the use of treats or food or aversive tools and using um, play and praise as a reward system. Let me see, we may have a little bit of technical problem. All right, hold on. Just going to wait for a few minutes for everybody to come. All right, so welcome. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here. Okay, so hopefully you can hear me and see me well. And if you have any dog related questions, go ahead and ask the questions. And today I'm going to start the show with something that I wanted to explain. And it came across one of the questions that I had in one of the videos. Somebody had asked me that, I've done everything that you've told me, and still I have the same problem that I used to have, and I can't get results. So the concept here is, if you are doing everything and you're still having the same problems that you used to have, it's not that, for example, my suggestion doesn't work, or my technique that I showed you or taught you didn't work. It's probably you're not doing it the proper way. Now, understanding what you need to do, problem solving, also, it's not easy if it's not one-on-one. And the other thing is that when you're focusing on changing a dog's or your dog's behavior, it doesn't happen overnight. It's not just one thing that you need to do once and you get results. You have to do the things that I suggest you, for a while. I just did a video recently that I talked about how long it takes to train a dog. So to solve a behavioral issue, it takes almost 6 months to change that behavior. So in general, you want to make sure that you, first of all, doing the right thing, exactly what you're supposed to do, doing the right steps, taking the right steps, and doing the right, taking the right actions, and also not expecting it to be solved within a day or two or a week or so. It takes time for a dog to change his behavior. It will take time. I mean, think about it yourself as a human being. If you want to do something new, how long does it take? If you want to start getting used to doing something new, how long does it take you to do that thing? Right? It takes you a while just to prepare your mindset to, first of all, get it going. And once you get going, you may give up, you may start again, and finally you get used to it, and then you start doing it normally in your routine, and then after a while you're going to see results. So as a human being, that's how long it takes. It takes a lot of time and repetitions, but for dogs also it takes some time to get used to it. So that's what I wanted to mention. to not to have expectations. Miracles happen overnight. By the way, you may notice that I have some new guests in my show. So this is, let me show you. This is Harvey, and this is Annie. Annie, my new puppy. So we got a picture of her printed out. So she's in the group as well. And that's Jonah. And we have a new member as well here. A friend of ours donated this dog to us. It's a beagle. It doesn't have a name yet, so we are trying to come up with a name for it. So there it is. It's made out of paper. It's amazing. It's very cute. It's a beagle. So we are looking for a name for it. So if you have name suggestions, mention them in the live show today. So he or she will be joining our show on a regular basis. Here we go. All right. So also tonight, my wife is going to help me with a live show. So she's going to screen the questions and also read the questions. And I'm going to be focusing on this side of the live session, which is the content that I use to show and present. And Yoko, my wife, she's going to ask the question. So Yoko, is there any questions?
Yes.
All right. So first of all, she's not ready to be on camera yet. So you're going just to hear her voice.
So SOG Vargas is asking, why is my puppy biting?
Why is your puppy biting? SOG is asking, why is the puppy biting? So the puppy is biting is because puppies usually, it's a natural behavior. Puppies usually are teething, and also there are two reasons. There are two main reasons why that happens. One is teething. Teething means they're replacing the old puppy teeth with adult teeth in their gum. So this irritates their gum. This transition irritates their gum, and because it irritates, they want to get rid of this sensation. So they tend to bite things, because when they bite things, it kind of relieves that sensation, and makes them to feel a little bit more relaxed. So for solving this problem, the solution is, first of all, to present to the puppy some chew toys, tough, rough chew toys, not fluff toys, not soft toys, but chew toys that the puppy can work on it and get that sensation relief. You can also use bones, raw bones ideally. Raw bones are perfect solution actually. If you give raw bones, not only you're helping them to deal with the biting, the teething issue, but also it acts as a toothbrush, right? And that's the natural toothbrush for puppies. The other thing that you can do, and you can kind of figure out how to deal with it, is puppies, they tend to play bite. Play bite is a activity that puppies do among each other as a play, that it represents like hunting and killing and things like that, but it's just in play form. So they do this to exercise and practice this activity. So they bite each other. So I suggest you to offer your puppy some puppies or some good adult dogs who are okay to play with puppies, so they can practice and play amongst each other, so they can so they can do that activity on dogs rather than humans. So the reason your puppy is biting you is because you're not offering your puppy other puppies or other dogs to practice with. For example, myself, I have a puppy. When I got my puppy, and she has this puppy biting scenario going on. I have luckily I have a doggy daycare where she was coming at the doggy daycare and playing with other dogs, other puppies, and she was practicing this with other dogs. And she's still chewing. She's still in that biting mode. So therefore, I offer her a lot of other mental and physical stimulation to get rid of that behavior. So there are lots of videos on my channel as well that you can watch, but that's why your puppy is biting, and that's how you can solve the biting solution. All right, next question.
It's from Carl. His question is, we have a 12-week-old beagle. When we put her in the crate, she pees and poops even after taking her outside. How do we stop that?
All right. So a 12 weeks old puppy, beagle puppy, even after you take her outside. So what you want to do is you want to come up with this routine. One of the biggest problems that I have with puppy owners is that they don't dedicate enough time to look after the puppy. So when you have a puppy up to, I would say, 5 months or so, 4 or 5 months, you are raising the puppy, right? So that means you're instead of babysitting, you're puppy sitting. So you have to be raising the puppy. So you have to be kind of 24/7 available. Either you or somebody who's looking after the puppy has to be keeping an eye on the puppy. So that's number one tip that I can share. Number two is you have to come up with a routine. So what that means is you take your puppy out for a walk, let's say at 12 o'clock, right? And your puppy pees and poops at 12 o'clock. And then you come home, take a paper or mark it on your phone, 12 o'clock, pee and poo, right? And then you take your puppy at, let's say, 3 o'clock. Beagle puppy doesn't do anything. You take it at 4 o'clock. Beagle puppy pees and poos at 4 o'clock again. So now you know, you have an idea that every 4 hours your puppy has to be peeing or pooping. So you keep track of this for a day or 2 or 3 and figure out what is your beagle's routine. So you have to kind of match your beagle's routine. That's the easiest way. So keep track, make a planner and keep track of your beagle's puppy pee and poo activity. Mark it down. So after 2 or 3 days, you have an idea of approximately when is the time that your beagle puppy has to go for a poo or pee. So let's say you figured out it's every 2 or 3 hours or every 4 hours. Let's say it's for every 4 hours. Every 3.5 hours, you take your puppy out to do its business. Why half an hour before? Because you don't want your puppy to have accidents inside. You want to prevent it from happening inside. Therefore, you're taking it outside half an hour before it happens. So that gives you a plan of how to control and manage the peeing and pooping. The other thing that you can do is make sure that you are also have this kind of automatic approach of taking your beagle puppy every 2 hours anyways. Take it outside, let it do its business. If it does. If it doesn't, forget it. Just mark it down when it does the business. If you have a routine, if you follow that routine, you have better success. All right, let's go to the next question. What is the next question? Yep.
Okay. The next question is from Michael.
Mm-hmm.
My dog is good about going on the potty pad when he's in his play area, but pees on the carpet when we let him out. I guess, let him out of his crate.
Great.
How can we train him to return to the pad whenever he needs to pee?
Okay. So this is one of the problems that I usually don't suggest to pee pad train a puppy. The reason for that is because they get confused. Puppies in general, dogs in general, they don't want to do their business indoors. They want to do outside of their living quarters, right? Outside of where they eat and sleep and live, right? They're clean animals in that form. They don't want to do their business inside. So when you introduce pee pads, you're confusing your puppy. So therefore, this is what happens. They get confused. They have accidents inside, outside, here and there, right? So it's very unpredictable when you use pee pads. So pee pads are ideal to be used only in emergency cases. So let's say there is a storm out there, or there's snow, or there's something is happening outdoors that you can't go outside. For example, during the last few months, people couldn't go outside. So that's a good time to, introduce and use the pee pad just in emergency cases. But in regular, normal, typical cases, you don't want to introduce pee pads. So what you want to do is you take your puppy outside every 2 hours, whether they're going to do it or not. For the first 3 days or so, you just take them every 2 hours. And as I explained in the previous question, you mark it down the time that they had their accident. And once they have you mark the time they have their business pee or poop, and then mark it down. It's 12 o'clock pee, 12:30 poop. So, and then next one was 3 o'clock poo, and 3:45 was pee, something like that. So mark it down so you have for 2 or 3 days, so you know when about they're about to do their business. And then once you figure that out, if you bring it home and you're putting in a crate, you take it out right away. Right away, you take it out from the crate and let him do their business. Take him for a 5-minute walk outside or something and bring him back. Don't use pee pads. Pee pads are not ideal tool to be used for potty training. Hopefully that helps. Any other questions?
Before going to questions,
Yeah.
there is Teresa says,
McCarter? Yeah, I know Teresa.
Yeah, she says, "Hi, Saro, great to see you."
Thank you, Teresa. Thank you for being here. And as always, you are one of the committed ones that shows up to my live sessions, and I hope you're enjoying them and also benefiting from the live show. And thank you for being here.
And also Steve says, "Hello from Vietnam."
Wow, Vietnam, that's great. There are many countries that I never expected them to be watching our live show or also watching my videos, and that is great from Vietnam. And I really appreciate your being here, and thank you for also being a member of this community. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
Okay, now getting back to the question.
Yeah.
Question from Bryce. My girlfriend's beagle corgi mix is 5 years old. 2 years ago, he was bitten by a dog and now barks and lunges at every dog he sees.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he is traumatized. How can we get him to stop this?
All right. Yeah, this is one of those cases that I would call it behavioral modification. In this case, you're not training your dog, you're modifying the behavior. And this is one of the cases that it does happen when a dog is attacked by another dog. They will be a little bit cautious with other dogs. And since your dog has been attacked and it's been 2 years and now it's barking and lunging at other dogs that it sees, that means it's fearful of other dogs now, and also is lacking confidence. So it doesn't know how to approach dogs and doesn't know how to solve this problem. So the way I want you to solve this problem is I want you to start providing your dog is daily 5 essential needs. So what are those daily 5 essential needs? They are exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection. And you will hear this over and over in my live shows, in my videos. The reason for that is because now, let's say your dog is traumatized from other dogs, right? So what is lacking here is lack of social skills, right? So what is number 3? Socialization, right? So your dog is lacking social skills. So you have to provide these 5 essential needs for your corgi on daily basis, every day, 365 days a year, in this order, not the other way. You want to provide a good amount of exercise, good amount of training as well, daily training, socialization, and then care, and then affection. So for example, your corgi is lacking social skills, so it doesn't know how to socialize with dogs now. Just because one dog, one bad apple, uh, made this happen, it doesn't mean that that is over and dogs are bad. All dogs are bad. So what you have to do is you have to exercise your corgi properly, so it has enough
Beagle corgi mix.
beagle corgi mix. Yes, that is cool. Beagle corgi mix. I'm just trying to imagine how it's going to look like. The bum. I'm very concerned about the bum of this dog. It must be very cute. So you want to exercise it properly, proper amount. At least an hour a day, two sessions of 30 minutes. That's at least what it should get. And then you have to train it every day. Training, what it does, it helps your dog to gain confidence and brings the confidence level up, and it makes your dog to become a little bit more assured of how to solve problems. So what I mean by that is, if your dog is trained and it learns to pay attention to you and get cues from you, if it sees another dog, it says, you know what do I do, mom or dad? So you tell it, this is what I want you to do. And if you do proper amount of exercise and training, create that communication system between you and your corgi mix going, you're going to be able to help your dog to socialize with other dogs. So if your corgi beagle mix sees another dog, what you can ask your dog to do is, instead of getting afraid and scared and panicking when you're seeing other dogs, I want you to focus on me and probably sit and stay and focus on me. So when a dog focuses on the human, obviously it's not focusing on the dogs that are stressing it. So therefore it can relax and start. When you panic, imagine this: when you panic, when there's an accident, you panic, or something happens that traumatizes you panic. What is the first thing that people tell you to do? Breathe, right? Take a deep breath, right? You take a deep breath and you relax, and then you can start thinking straight. Okay, it's not that bad, right? You figure things out, right? So the same thing has to apply with the dog. So when they panic when see another dog, you want them to have that opportunity to take a deep breath, which is you teaching them how to sit and stay, for example. Take a deep breath, and they take a deep breath, and they focus on you, and look, there's a dog, nothing bad happens, right? The dog passes by, or you can go and say hi. Now, I'm not saying, first day take the dog near another dog, but you could close the distance between you and the other dogs within a few months, 40 feet away, 30 feet away, 10 feet away, and so on, within months. And that's how you get your dog to stop being traumatized from other dogs. Does it make sense? All right. Okay. I hope it makes sense. And thank you for the question. So do we have any other questions?
Yes. Next one is from OAKEN 3D. My 2-month-old beagle is always trying to eat her own poop. Is there a way to stop her?
Yeah, so I have one of those. I have been on top of it. I have controlled it, and I'm getting used to getting her under control. My Annie, she tends to eat poops, So I'll tell you what I do. If it's me, I keep an eye on her. I kind of know when she's gonna poop, like around times that she's gonna poop. So I keep an eye on her. So as soon as she poops, I say, Annie, no, like I push her away from the poop so I can go and pick it up. So first thing is human prevention and human management to get involved with figuring out when is their time to do it, and you go and pick it up. Second of all, I would say even me, even though I'm feeding the best food that I can, I think of, I'm providing the best food for my dog, but there's always something lacking in their system. The reason for that is because if you want to find out exactly what you need to feed your dog that is completely balanced, you have to do blood work. You have to do a lot of tests and a lot of, steps to figure out exactly what you need to feed your dog, so it supplies all the necessary nutrients, um, uh, marks, and once they are satisfied with all those, then they're not going to eat their poo. The reason they're eating poo is because there's something lacking in their diet that they're not getting, and then their food, or that food that you're feeding, is not being digested properly. So they're trying to eat it back in hopes of either digesting it properly or getting that nutrients that they're missing. So the diet is very important also in this case. So prevention is important, diet is important, and making sure that you're always on top of it. You don't let your puppy to or any dog actually to do its business on its own. Make sure that you are seeing how their poops is. Also, you want to feel it, touch it, and pick it up, because it tells you a lot of things. It tells how their health is and all kinds of things. If they have a good solid stool, it's a sign of health. And if they're having a stinky soft stool, that's a sign of not being healthy. Hopefully that helps. All right, any other question?
Yes, next is a question from Matt. My family recently rescued a 14-month-old retriever who lived in a cage before they rescued her. She always jumps on everyone. They mostly tell her no or down in a firm voice, but it seems to make her jump more.
Yes. This is one of those things that I think I just, in the beginning of the show, I mentioned that, people say I've done this and it's not working. So when you are saying no to a dog and you're hoping that not to jump, what it happens is, if the dog doesn't know, first of all, what no means, it doesn't make sense to them. I mean, if you can say A, you can say you can say oh, you can say cucumber, you can say, starship, whatever word you want to say, use it. If it doesn't have any meaning for the dog, it won't have effect. So you have to, first of all, practice this correction word and attach it with the behavior that you want beforehand. So some other time when actually the guests are not there, because when the guests are there and dog is jumping, it's already too late. That's not the time to train or correct the dog, because the behavior is already happening. And whatever you do or say is not going to work anyways, because there wasn't any practice time beforehand. So imagine me asking a kid, here, go start driving the car. The kid is going to say, I have no idea what the car is. First of all, what is car? And then how do you want me to drive it? I've never sat behind a wheel. I don't know what's what. But if I took the time to explain, this is a car, this is how it works, there's an engine, there's gas, that's why the car burns energy, gas, and the engine runs, and then there's this wheel that you can control, and there's the pedal for stopping, and this the pedal for gas, and then this is how you drive. And we go and practice this driving itself for a few months, and then that kid is going to be able to drive it. And whenever I say stop, it will know what to press. When I say, okay, give gas, it'll give gas. And when I say turn left, turn right, then the kid is going to respond to me. But if I don't do any of this and all of a sudden ask the kid to drive, good luck figuring that out. So that's what happens most of the time when dog owners, they're trying to either help the dog to stop or trying to teach the dog to stop a behavior. They only focus on training or fixing the issue when the dog is actually doing the behavior. So that time when the guests are coming is not the time to practice that or teach the dog the behavior. What you want to do is you want to pretend that there are people, whenever you can ask your friends and family, go out and come in and get excited. Let's practice this with our dog. So your dog has some ideas what it's supposed to do when the real thing happens. Make sense? All right. How are we doing on questionnaire?
We're catching up.
Okay.
There's one. It's from Steve
Mhm.
from Vietnam.
Right.
I'm thinking to neuter my male beagle. Some say no, others say wait for 1 year, and others say 6 to 7 months.
It's a topic that I can talk for a while, but I'm going to try to make it as short as possible. Okay. The problem with neutering or spaying dogs is that most recently the studies and the research has shown that spaying and neutering dogs it will cause a lot of health issues to develop in dogs because we are removing an organ. And when you're removing an organ, there is a possibility, and I mean, there is 100% possibility of things to mess up because their body needs that organ. And if there's a reason why that organ is there. So you want to leave that organ as is. You don't want to touch it. Now, the other part of it is that the new concept that they have come, it's called sterilizing. It's a little bit, maybe you want to Google that, sterilizing dogs instead of neutering. Maybe Google that. I will try to make a separate video about this. This is something that I think I have to talk about it a little bit more. But sterilizing is a concept that they're not removing the organ. They're just disconnecting some tissues that they don't really do much or function much. So that is much healthier. Now, the other part of it is that if neutering or spaying your dog is causing or relating to behavioral issues in your dog for some reason, what I mean by that is if the neutering and spaying is making your dog to be behaving a little bit more exaggerated or in a way that is way not under, it's out of control, then that's the time I would say to spay and neuter the dog. Because if that is the reason that is causing your dog to have behavioral issues, then it's a good idea to spay or neuter that dog. The thing is that most dogs who are not spay or neutered, the owners, they don't focus on providing their dogs daily 5 essential needs. So you want to provide your dog's daily 5 essential needs, because if you do that, then that dog, it doesn't matter if it's neutered or not, it won't have behavioral issues developing, right? when you have a dog who's not spayed or neutered, and you don't do any of these, what it happens is all of this not being provided causes stress in dogs. On top of those hormonal uh, forces that they do cause a little bit of I would say complex in their system. On top of all these, will become a situation that you will have a dog who's going to have a lot of behavioral issues. So therefore, you want to spay or neuter that dog. But the thing is that also the later you spay that or neuter that dog is better. So, for example, most rescue organizations, they spay or neuter very soon, very early. Like, my puppy, my beagle, Harvey, when he was a puppy and he was rescued, he was neutered at 4 months of age. And Annie, she's not, luckily, she hasn't been spayed yet. So we're going to take care of that. I'm not going to spay her until, again, I see she has first heat, and then we'll see if that's bothering her. They know if I would like to not to spay her. The only reason I would say I would spay her is because I run a doggy daycare, and it's just too much for me to watch her because she is a social dog. She likes to play with dogs, and she's among all kinds of boys on neutered dogs. I know most puppies are not neutered as well, so accidents could happen. So to prevent that, I may go ahead and spay her. Otherwise, if I was living in a perfect world, I wouldn't spay or neuter my dogs. So yeah, that's about it. That's my final say about spaying and neutering. Any other questions so far?
No, that's the last one.
That's the last one. I see that Teresa loves the photo of the dogs, which is great. I love them too. It's just I have all my 3 gang behind me now. Annie was missing in the gang, so she's now joining the gang. And okay, all right. So I think that's about it then. So we're going to cut the live show. Hold on. Yes. Okay, we're back. We're going to cut the live show short today. I think we caught up with everybody and all the questions. There's no other question. If there is no other question, we're going to end the show right here. And if you are not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon as well, so you will get notified as soon as I post my next video or if I go live. Now, the next live session would be next Friday, the 11th at 9 a.m. So mark that down if you are wanting to come and join us live.
Next Friday, what day?
Next Friday, the 11th at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
September 11th.
Yes, September 11th. Yes, September 11th at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I think it's 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes. All right. Thank you, everybody, for all your questions and being here. And I will see you next time. And until next time, have fun with your dog.